problem? Why are you mad at the camera? What did it do to you?
1,
2,
2, 3.
Hi.
Putting on my headphones.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of
Be
Hi.
Uplifted.
My name is Lonnie.
Wow. My name is Ari.
My name is Vincent.
And I'm Rich.
You can tell this is one of the last episodes of the night because hour one is tired. He's sleeping. She put glasses on to fake the sleeping. I have large lashes on today to hide the tiredness.
I had extra food, so I'm good.
Yeah, he's happy.
Yeah.
Happy asahipo. All right. So, what are we talking about today, my friends? Brrr.
Is arguing healthy?
Fuck no. Just kidding. I don't know. I mean,
All right, let's establish this. What do you guys consider arguing? Like, what's
arguing is an
Disagreement.
argument. I mean, it debates.
It's a debate or a disagreement upon a subject.
okay? We're all on the same page.
Boom.
No, it's when you guys have two different opinions, and the guy has his opinion, and the girl is wrong.
Okay, so that's he's irrelevant. I'm just kidding.
He has.
This is an
energy.
argument. No, I'm just kidding.
That's how you know he has energy.
I know, right?
Well, I don't want to agree with a girl, and then we're both wrong.
Okay, so okay. Yeah, I mean, in all seriousness, I can agree. But not
but
with
he's
Vince.
serious.
I'm not.
Okay, so I think we brought this up because you hear people say like if there's no arguments in a relationship, it's not really healthy because there's no gauge of how you guys are going to deal with trial or I can't think of the word.
I feel like, well,
Tribulation. I don't know if that's a word.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Adversity, is that a word?
Yes.
Yeah, that together.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've been in a relationship where we didn't argue at all,
Mm-hmm.
but and people are like, "Oh yeah, that was good," but really, like, that we just I feel
Didn't
like
care.
There's no growth.
Yeah.
Right, that's a good way of
Yeah,
putting it.
I
You
was
just don't
just
give
like,
a fuck.
yeah, I just don't care. Like if I'm not gonna argue with you, first off, it's like, I just don't see it being worth the effort.
Yeah. Like for me, I always say in a relationship, like if it gets bad, right, I'm arguing and my point or my side. But I always, like people know, even people tell my friends, like, or my mom has even told my friends, when she stops arguing is when you should worry because that means she
Yeah.
completely doesn't give a fuck.
Damn,
Like,
I've heard that.
yeah. And that's really, I think for me, that's why arguing is healthy to an extent, right? So
Yeah.
you kind of touched on that question. What is considered the stages of arguing? What do you guys think is like, yes, yes, yes. And then when does it go into like, okay, now that's not good?
I think I think when it gets to the point of total disrespect,
Yes.
and when you start like demoralizing the other person, that's when it's no longer an argument.
Or when it gets to the point where it's like, well, like trying to one up each other, or like, well, I did this and this, and well, what about I did this too, or like that fuck, I just can't at that point.
I think another good way to look at it too is something that Vince says often, where he says like people either argue to understand or argue to be right.
Well, it's more like you're either looking for the right answer or you're trying to make your answer right.
Right. So I think when you lose sight of like understanding each other and you really are just looking to be right, that's also when it starts to become a little bit more toxic.
That or when people start throwing shit.
Yeah, that's when I know I'm being toxic. When I pick something up and I throw it at you.
I mean, I'm guilty. I've done it before in the past.
So, Vince, Rich, you two are more like mellow because you're the male, right? Have you ever had an instance where you did get to that point where you kind of like jumped out of character and you guys got to a point of unhealthy arguing where you guys were talking shit or throwing shit? Or I know you two are not like actual woman beaters. You just toss them down to the stairs. You don't actually beat them. So like anywhere where it's like to this point where you're like, okay, now I'm fucking out of character. This is not good.
Yeah, I think it's when you start really like again, when you start disrespecting each other.
But have you experienced that yourself as the
Oh,
person?
As a person, I've been disrespected in arguments before.
But have you done it?
Have I done it?
Yeah. Have you ever been taken to that point where you were just like, like I said, out of character? Because it's not like you to be like that, where you were like finally disrespectful to the other person.
Not really, because it's always somebody else has to get me. I mean, has to get me to that point. But I guess it's never me initiating it.
But you've responded in the same disrespect.
Kinda, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about you?
The only thing that comes to mind is there was one time where a girl was like, "Why are you?" What I can't remember the term that she used, but it's like, "Why are you so passive when we have this problem and stuff?" And so,
So you turned around and slapped her, so you weren't
no,
passive.
the thing was is that I was like, well, we're both not in the right mind state to have a conversation about this, and she's like, oh, you just don't want to have this conversation, blah blah blah, and I was like, well, I do, just not right now. And she said, how come you don't fight for me, blah blah blah, and I turned around and I was like, because you're a fucking bitch. And then she was all like, why would you call me that? I was like, see how unproductive that was? Yeah, I didn't mean it. Well, I kind of did at the time. But
But
then
you were
like,
also making a point.
I was making a point. I was like, there's no point in us yelling at each other. You know, like if, again, it was me thinking back, and I didn't even realize I was doing this, but it was me thinking back more to, okay, let's find the right answer instead of trying to prove each other that we're right.
But she wanted to be right
Yeah.
in your perspective.
Yeah, because you can kind of tell when somebody's talking to you and you have a disagreement and they're not really listening to you, they're just waiting for their turn to talk.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, definitely. You can tell that.
Yeah. Like when we have girls on this podcast that talk to me and then like, who hurt you? I'm like, yo, that's irrelevant to the statement that I just made. Stop shaming me.
What would you guys?
Wow. For someone that always claims no emotion, that was a pretty emotional response.
It's a good job. He's getting in touch with his
Don't
emotions.
fucking
Yeah.
judge me, bitch.
So, what would you guys consider like healthy forms or healthy arguments?
Fight to the death.
Healthy forms of arguing or healthy argument topics or subjects?
I think when there's a back and forth as far as like a search for understanding. Like
Yeah.
if you're really sitting there to figure out like what how each other's point of view is, then that becomes healthy.
Yes.
But if you're just trying to push your agenda,
Would that be just considering like communicating at that point then?
yeah. But you're it's like, again, an argument does not necessarily mean yelling.
It just means a
It's
disagreement.
a disagreement. It's a discussion. So, like when people say, "Oh yeah, we were just arguing about something," like we could argue about sports. We can argue about
okay.
what thumbnail to use, or
Right.
we can argue about how you feel as though you got wronged on the thumbnail.
Or how we shouldn't do TikToks anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
But those are arguments. But again, it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Right.
But I think that there's a stigma when it comes to relationships, like boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, fiance, whatever, that once you argue, people automatically think that it's like at the highest level.
True.
Like you guys are like, oh, you guys are arguing. That means that he's sleeping on the couch, or he's in the doghouse.
Or this person's wrong and this person's right, or
Oh,
something
please
like
put
that.
me on the couch. That's where the big TV's at.
But I think that's why I'm sorry.
No, go
But I think that's why I think with that kind of like stigma or that kind of like misunderstanding, people automatically become so defensive when it comes to like an argument when it starts, because they're always thinking that they have to win somehow.
I like that you put it in that perspective, because I think that's a very good point, that like when you take the relationship lovers aspect out of it, it's normal for people to argue and there's no stigma around it. Like people are always like, oh yeah, I had a disagreement with my friend, or oh, me and my friend were fighting about this and that sport or whatever, and there's no like you know what I mean? But with husband and wife or boyfriend and girlfriend, it's kind of like, well, that's not good.
Well,
you know?
I will say this. I don't think that there's any type of healthy argument. And the reason that I say that is because if you're having a discussion or a disagreement and you're like talking as normal human beings, that's fine. But once emotion gets into it, and you kind of like turn off the, the listening aspect, and you're just yelling at each other, and that's where I would say that there's the line between a discussion and an argument. So at that point, I don't think arguments really are valid or will solve anything, because then it becomes like just emotion.
But I can't use the term just we were having an argument about that without it being negative.
Well, I mean, we can always have discussions about things.
I agree and I disagree, because I feel like we're human, right? So there's always going to be a certain point where someone's going to get a little bit elevated and heated, and where I feel like it's still healthy is the end of it, right? Like if you guys can go back and forth and be arguing, but as long as the end comes to like an understanding and a compromise and agreement, then that's in turn a healthy argument, in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
I just think the word argument itself it's for me, I always view it as
It's a negative.
It's a neutral.
Oh,
No,
neutral. Okay.
It's neutral. Like I could use a term argument for anything. Like we were arguing about the thumbnail.
Right.
But you could also use it as if we were having a discussion. But argument, it's a stronger term because it actually means that we were going.
There was a disagreement.
There was a disagreement, but that disagreement is not necessarily anything negative. It could be constructive.
Right.
But I think that but that's what I'm saying. Like the minute you say argument, people put that negative stigma on it, and I think that's when people get defensive just from the term argument.
Right.
That's probably why I associated it with like negativity.
That makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I think also one of the things that I see difference between the discussion and the argument is when you stop trying to be right, or when you start trying to win the argument by proving the other person wrong. Like you don't necessarily, it's like one of those things. I'm not necessarily trying to win. I just want you to lose. When you have that mentality, it becomes like a argument.
That's true. Mm-hmm.
I was going to ask you guys, how do you guys feel about when you're having an argument and the other party gets too emotional where they disagree?
Gaslight them. Start gaslighting them
Okay.
into making them think that they're the problem.
I don't know what to say.
Now we know where all your arguments stem from.
Exactly. Well, okay, like for example, like let's say, oh, I feel like you don't. I'm trying to find a good example that like maybe I've experienced or something.
Okay, so like I
So-
think I understand the direction that you're taking this. So for an example, if somebody says, I feel like I'm putting in more into this relationship than you are, is that like an example of one of the questions I can
No.
gaslight?
So like, no, I mean I can't really think of a statement like that, but like the response would be like, no, I didn't.
Okay, so I get what you're saying, because I literally teach this to my kids too, right? Like,
Yeah.
like my so and so is being mean to me, right? And no, I'm not. You know, that's what. And I'm like, well, you're not allowed to tell them how they feel. Like
Yes.
perception, as we spoke before, is reality. So if like you approach your man or your woman or significant other, and you're like, dude, you're being a dick to me, and they go, no, I'm not.
Yes, like that.
Like that's not okay. We can talk about like, well, why do you feel that way? You
Right.
know, but you're not allowed to be like, no, I'm not. Or you can say, well, that wasn't my intention, right? But you're
Yeah.
not allowed to tell me like, no, I'm not, because that's how you're making me feel. That's how I'm perceiving it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Or say, I'm sorry you feel that way.
That is gaslighting.
That is very gaslighting. Yeah. No, I ask about it because like to be real, I've had that type of argument or fighting or whatever. And I always respond back like, now I feel like you're putting me down. And I'm not trying to ask you to validate my feelings, but at least just hear me out of why I feel this way.
Right. Understand
Yes.
where it's coming from.
And I feel like that's the difference between having a healthy argument and gaslighting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We're not shaming gaslighting, by the way.
Yes, we are.
Yes, I very much am.
I am not a fan of gaslighting.
Yeah.
I was
Damn.
also going to
Damn, these
there's,
motherfuckers
like
are close. Yeah.
hella
If you
Stuff
guys
going
can't
on in
hear
the
it,
air.
there's a bunch of shit up in the air.
yeah
Right now.
helicopters, jets. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, actually, it's a V-22 Osprey, so it's both
See,
a jet and a helicopter.
What he said.
So-
Yeah.
Whatever, Rich.
It's
we
both
know
in
you're
one.
like so smart or whatever.
yeah, fuck you.
Okay, so I was.
That was our argument.
I know, right there. That's remember what's his name? He was saying we should argue more on here
Nelson.
for spice. Yes, Nelson. Okay, I also was thinking like the difference between like argument and discussion is like argument specifically, like you said, there's a disagreement, right? Discussions, there's not necessarily an agreement. We can literally talk about how we feel about raising our kids and agree on everything, and that is still in fact a discussion, you know? So there's no negative connotation in discussions necessarily, you know?
Planning on using that word. I'm glad I was about to use it correctly.
Connotation?
Yeah.
Nice.
Don't remember the sentence that was leading up to that now. But the fact that I got validated in my mind, that's a lot to me.
That was actually something that I learned when I was in like sociology and like therapy classes, is that whole thing of like, you're not allowed to tell people how they feel. Like you're allowed to disagree with them, but you can't be like, no, I'm not. So that's
Yeah.
definitely like a form of unhealthy arguing for
Yeah.
sure.
So I have a question. When we are saying argument, do we agree that there is a negative connotation to that?
Yeah.
So
I think there
if-
could be.
Yeah.
If you do notice that it is becoming an argument, is there any ways that you can think of that help it come back to a discussion?
De-escalate this.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fucking breathe. Take a breather.
Yeah.
Definitely a breather, because
Yeah.
there's a term called getting flooded, where you don't even know that like your brain is not even responding in a normal way anymore. It's really just the whole like, I want to get my point and I want to win.
Yeah,
and
it's all reaction.
yeah, reactionary, exactly. So at that point, that's when you take a breather and be like, you know what, like what you did, the fact that your ex was not able to comprehend that when you're like, hey, I don't think this is a good time to have a discussion, that's probably the healthiest response, and she was just not able to accept that, you
Yeah.
know?
But being flooded only happens to girls once a month, right?
Okay. No, but like the key point to circle back.
Yeah.
The for sure key point, because I have to tell this to Jason, and I have to say this too, is like, if you need a break, then vocalize it, because if you're not saying anything to me, then I'm gonna just feel like you're not listening.
Right. Like if you have nothing to say and you're processing, then say that, right?
Yeah.
Don't just sit there and stare at me.
Right.
Because then you're like, because almost you have to like make women, this is where women are bad. I feel like we make shit up in our head, right? Like you're not saying anything. You must be thinking this. You must be feeling this. When some men are literally either not thinking anything at all, or they're just like trying to be a nice guy and not respond like a dick. So they're kind of like quiet. And that's when you should say that, right? Like,
Yeah.
I've heard this theory that when girls say, I can't even talk to you right now, blah, 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 you know, when you're in an argument, that what that translates to is, oh shit, he's making a point. Let me rethink my attack, and then I'm going to start this argument again later.
No, I disagree.
I definitely think there's girls out there like that.
No.
But I disagree too.
No, I hardcore disagree.
Vince has a book of female stereotypes somewhere. he just pulls it up and he reads it like the Bible.
Literally.
That's what I titled that book, the Bible.
Yeah. Okay, like for me personally, when I say that, it's because I'm starting to feel like
You're getting
you're
getting upset for
I'm
sure.
getting upset, and you're not listening to me to try to find a middle ground. So I'm like, I just can't talk to you right now. Let me.
It's almost like you doing them a favor because you're holding back. You're
Yes.
like, I'm not even gonna talk to you right now because I'm fucking about to lose it. Almost like
Yes.
that, right?
Yeah.
Yes. I think a lot of women respond in that way where you're just like, I can't even fucking talk to you right now. You know,
Yeah.
just like walk away.
I mean, I say that all the time. I can't even fucking talk to you right now. Only because sometimes you get.
It's the same thing for a man, too.
You get all that emotion on you.
Yeah.
And I'm over here like trying to figure out like how to fix shit. Oh, shut the fuck up. Like, you know, you
Yeah.
don't want
Yeah.
to say, shut the fuck up for a second. Let
Yeah.
me think.
Right.
That's really what I'm thinking. Like, shut the fuck up because I need to think.
I'm laughing because I literally said, just shut the fuck up. Like,
I've literally said
I've
that
said
too.
that
I've
shit.
said that shit too. Shut up. And he's like trying to fix it. I'm like, I said. And I'm like, I'm trying to help you out just right now, you know? So I feel that. I think that's like both a man and a woman thing. It's like, I can't fucking talk to you right now because the other person is just on a sick one, you know?
Right.
Another thing that like I've experienced that really pisses me off is like when you're trying to explain how you feel or what things you would like to fix or something, and then the whole gaslighting comes up, but they're like, this is where it goes bad, okay?
This is where it turns.
This is where it turns when you're like, oh, so I guess me doing this isn't good enough for you. Or like when they say, oh, so I guess what I did, that doesn't mean shit to you.
Or I'll even do one better that's similar to that. Or like the whole, I guess I'm just a fucking dumbass then, huh? Or yeah, I'm such a fuck up. And I'm like, that's not what I said. I just
Yeah.
want to
No,
fix
just
it.
say yes. Cause like there's been some times where like I've had a girlfriend where she was all like, "Oh, you make me feel stupid." I was like, "Well, you shouldn't really feel stupid. Just realize you are."
That's turning into a fight.
That's why all your discussions are really arguments.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm so calm.
Okay, so this is proof
I'm getting
right
this
here.
idea that you guys think gaslighting is a bad thing.
I feel like this guy right here, he justifies his arguing with the calm voice that he has.
Hey Vince, who hurt you?
Everyone.
Himself, guys.
What does this have to do with anything who hurt me?
So
I can't even talk to you right now, Rich.
And he walks
he
away.
walks away.
You make me feel so stupid right now.
And how does that make you feel?
I don't have headphones on. Yeah, I keep on seeing this reflection of Lottie's glasses.
So I need these to look awake right now.
I
so.
know, right?
No, it's all good. 9-5 sponsor us.
Yes,
I know.
please.
Mike,
I need
hit
a
me
pair.
up.
So please,
I love me 9
por
fives.
favor. Okay. Where were we? We were done arguing. Hold on.
So anyways, gaslighting.
So when you guys get into arguments and you feel like you're hitting that level where you're like, fuck, like I just can't, what are besides, take a breather, what are other suggestions or what other things have you guys done to de-escalate
Oh
yourself?
my God, I really don't want to answer this. I will get canceled.
Oh God, just say it.
Just
You're already,
just
we're
say it.
already,
You're already
there.
there.
Right.
No, see, this is the thing is that like now I feel like every girl is replaceable, so I just don't care anymore.
Damn.
So it's gaslighting, but with action.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Well, no, okay. Remember that story where I was driving and some girl was getting on my nerves and she like dared me to like pull over, and I was like, all right. I never saw her again.
Mm-hmm.
That was really, really calming after she got out of the car.
Mm-hmm.
I see no downside in this. Because like there's no.
I have no words.
Wait, but there's a big simp culture where it's like we put we put our significant other on a pedestal, and you have to work to even if they are in the wrong, you kind of sacrifice some of your mental health to get back to a good place. And I don't think that that's healthy. I'd rather just leave the person, whether it's a guy or a girl. Like if we're friends or if we're in a relationship, it's like, dude, people are so replaceable.
Oh man, I can't agree with that.
Well, okay, wait. I got a question. That girl you left on the corner or wherever, how long were you dating her?
3 months.
3 months.
Yeah.
Dang.
Damn. That's kind of sad.
Well, yeah, but then at the same time, if I'm looking at it like okay, it only took me 3 months to find out that she was the way that she acted, and then for me to say, oh, maybe there's a one-off thing, that's honestly like delusional, because if she's going to show her face like that in 3 months or any part of the relationship, why would I want to stick around? It's kind of like when some girl is like, bless you, if some girl is like, saying, oh yeah, I left my husband because I was tired of him beating me for like 2 years straight. And I was like, well, you should have left him the first time.
You can't really, okay, I'm not even trying to get into that.
I was like, damn, a
yeah,
bunch of
let's-
girls that are like domestic
Yeah.
violence survivors are gonna come in and say some shit.
Yeah, and I'm one of them.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
It's so okay. It's plain and
Okay,
simple.
but
It's
wait.
much
Okay, so
easier.
would it have been better if you just left the first time?
Of course, but it's
Of
never that
course.
easy. Like for my ex, I don't know about how it was for you, but my ex, I was scared to leave.
Yes.
I was so like, I thought there was a point where I really thought he could kill me.
Yes.
Like,
Well, yeah. Okay, so there's that, but then like there's a lot of people that stay with put up with shit because they think they can't do better.
that's true. I mean, it's happened.
And so that like if your life is, or if there's any harm that's being threatened to you, like make sure you take the safer way out. I completely advocate for doing whatever's best for you, and if you weigh the options, yeah. But
Okay, maybe
me
we should have
kicking-
like started with that statement before going too deep.
No, but I still think that, when it comes to domestic violence, there's a lot of mental
I was gonna
anguish
say
that
that
goes
too.
through that too. So
Yes.
you think it's so easy to leave, but you're just so beaten.
Yeah.
You're so beaten mentally that you don't even have the strength to think about leaving at that point.
Right. And there's
You're
actually
just sucking it up.
there's actually a statistic that most women that experience domestic violence, they are manipulated, and there's mental
Yep.
gymnastics prior to the actual beating, that when it gets to the beating, you don't even realize that you're in that trance or that spell
Right?
of like
Then
being
you think
stuck.
everything is your fault.
Right, exactly.
How do you leave it when you think it's your fault and you have to fix yourself?
Right, exactly.
And it's not the other person.
right.
No, that's a valid point. I have a hard time answering that because I can't.
relate.
Yeah, I can't picture myself in that. But there's also that whole thing where, well, if I don't recognize it, how do I know that I'm not in it? So so I believe, like I'm, not everything that I'm saying is like 100% like you have to do this. No, a lot of things I'm saying is just to be funny. But that is a very good point, and I haven't thought of it that way. And I'll consider it next time I try to break up with another girl.
So point for the girls.
Yeah.
You're
Can I
still
get that
negative.
thing?
No,
Now
Let
we
me
don't
get that
have
thing.
it.
No, you guys are working on a negative. If you guys
Yeah.
watch the last
Whatever.
yeah, whatever.
Shut up.
I can't right now.
I know, right? You look at what
No,
Nelson
no.
did. He brought the bad energy.
Look,
Now we're
you
all
know,
gonna
look,
fucking go off on
It's
each other.
funny though, with all the dumb shit that I just said, they only counted that as 1 point. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
valid.
yeah.
I'm cool. I'll let you guys be back as
No, but I'm gonna go back to your point though about like, when she says drop me off here, you just kind of left her and then left. It's like, what gets you to that point that you make that switch that quick?
Yes. Good question.
Good one.
Like, how invested are you in the 3 months in the relationship for you to just turn
Just like that.
just like that?
Well, I didn't want to be manipulated, and I knew at that point that like my mental health, like I can't control what she does, right? But I can control how I feel, well, to an extent, and what I do about it. And she asked for permission,
Okay.
so I had her consent to leave her at the side of the road. So I was just like, "Hey, opportunity. This is my way out."
No, okay. Well, because the question
But-
is that you're always, sometimes it's for the shtick, or sometimes it's serious. It's like you're always saying how men are more, what do you call this?
Have more control.
No, are more logical, right? There's not a lot of logic in leaving somebody on the corner. When you're talking about your mental health and everything else, that's a pretty emotional thing to do. Get the fuck out then,
Yeah.
because there's no logic involved there.
Well, my
Like your
logic was.
Yeah,
It's
it's a
reactionary.
reactionary.
My logic for that was I didn't want to continue the emotional stuff that she was putting me through. Because, okay,
But so you're saying it? Well, you're saying there's a lead up to that.
Yeah,
not
I'm not
necessarily
saying
like
that-
it happened overnight. Then
yeah, I'm not a robot. Well, it was kind of overnight. I mean, it was at that point. Because before all of that, she was decently, like, sane. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's some times where she would be like, oh, it's retrograde or whatever. I'm like, all right, whatever. You can believe whatever you want. That's not a deal breaker for me. But the fact that she was like trying to start fights, she was talking shit, and I was just like thinking, damn, like on the way to the club, I was getting roadhead. What if she snaps while I'm getting rollhead head again, she might like bite my dick. I'm like, no, you guys might think that that's funny, but no, it happened often. So I was like, all right, cool. And
That she bit you?
no, that she would give me. No,
Rollhead.
she had access to my private parts often, and I'm like thinking if she can flip like that,
Right.
then I don't feel safe around her. You know, if she's sleeping with me and just has a bad dream. No, but like it was like one of those things where she just did a 180, and it's like, wow, what if she has a bad dream and she's convinced that I cheated
The
on her
fact
in the
that
dream?
you're being so serious about this and I can't take you serious.
Okay, but I have a question then. So you said that she kind of like flipped all of a sudden, right? But do you hold yourself to that standard? Like, do you never have a bad day or a moment where you kind of lose your shit and like,
I'm sure I have.
and are they allowed to leave you on the corner hypothetically or whatever? Like, do you not give someone like
Absolutely.
benefit of the doubt or grace? Like, I know there's certain like, non-negotiables, like maybe cheating or like actual physical abuse, but like, I mean, I've lost it a time or two,
Yeah.
you know, and I would hate for Ackroyd to drop me off on the side of the road and be like, "You're
Can you at
freaking
least
out."
drop me off in front of my house?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, my safety, please.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
no.
it was safe. We're in public. I didn't leave. Like, okay, I wasn't driving through like the road to like Temecula where there's nothing.
How
around.
far away was she from her home?
She was in civilization. She had money. She could
How
have
far
called
was
a
she
cab.
from her home?
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
So the
San
top,
Francisco,
so
but
the-
she lives in San
I
Diego.
know. She had money.
yeah. So the topic today is supposed to be is arguments
Healthy.
healthy or is it good? Could it be good? In Vince's case, he just skipped the whole argument, just left her.
Well, okay, but
So,
when you're
negative
talking to
arguing,
somebody,
healthy.
no, but when you're talking to, you also have to have accountability. If you're talking to a wall, so to speak,
Yeah.
there's no point. Just fucking leave it.
Yeah, but there's like a humane way to do that,
No, no,
right?
yeah, but when
Like-
you're talking to a wall, you're going to be talking to a wall for a while.
Yeah.
For, you know, I mean, if you and I were dating,
Hey.
you know, and all of a sudden today, you
I've played this scenario many times in my head.
yeah. Well, you know, and then like
Who's top, who's
this afternoon, we take turns. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. Okay, go.
And then I get home,
Mm-hmm.
and you just got a whole bunch of shit, the studio, DJing, whatever, in your head,
Mm-hmm.
and now I'm feeling like I'm talking to a brick wall. Then I just leave it at that, or do I work on it, or I figure out
Right, and tell you
what's
I
going
have
on?
this disagreement. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or this feeling.
Well, us both being logical, I can tell you that I'm not in the right place to have a conversation. I'll make you your favorite sandwich, and then just give me some time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you didn't try that with her though. You just left her at the corner.
Well, because so there's a lot of things that you guys don't know about. Like when we were arguing, she was asking something unreasonable.
Yes.
You know, she it started with some guy was hitting on her. He bought her a drink, and she didn't have me around to protect her. I was like, I was in the DJ booth, right? The other thing was when we were arguing, every time she said something where she was like yelling at me and stuff, anytime that I tried to either comfort her or answer her, she would talk over me again.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, there's no point. And then that's when I hit my wall where I was quiet, and she's all like, oh, so you're just not going to talk? You know what? You ain't shit anyways. Fucking, I could do better than you. Let me out.
Yeah.
I was like,
Okay.
all right.
So when I asked if there was a culminating of events, you said no. It was like happened overnight. It didn't.
No, well, the reason that I said that is because I was associating that with like,
Literally.
she
was it
starts.
overnight?
No, yeah, it was literally, but it was. I was associating that with, oh well, she's bad with money, but I guess I could deal with that. And then later on, it's like, oh, she's very forgetful, but I could deal with that. No, she was mad decent leading up to that, but then when she started doing shit like that, and I was like, all right, you know what? I don't.
Yeah.
need
So overnight can be like in a month like that, like the last few weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I meant over minute.
Over.
Yeah.
No, because I mean, it's important what he said though. Like the minute they start going, "Oh, you're just a piece of shit,"
Yeah.
that's you're taking it to a different level now.
But-
Now you're damaging.
Yeah, there was also things
The
that were
respect,
like
the
Yeah.
character.
yeah, there was a lot of things that were like just you should know not to do. Like you would know this, you would relate to this. If you're upset with your man, or if in her case, if she was upset with me unreasonably, right? In my opinion, that's subjective,
Right.
but unreasonably upset with me, but she's causing a scene where I work because I was DJing. See, that already puts
Yeah.
me in.
Nah, I would have
yeah.
left her at the fucking.
Side of the
on
Oh
road.
yeah, I should have left her there.
I would have
Yeah.
left her on the way to Verona.
Right.
Yeah.
In the desert.
Windy roads and shit.
Fuck yeah.
No, like because you made it sound as though it just happened overnight. When I say overnight, it's like I mean literally
You
like
just flip the switch.
it's
Yeah.
almost like you.
Yeah.
It's almost like you didn't invest in the relationship yourself. You just kind of like said, "Well, fuck, she's kind of different today. Get the fuck out of my car."
No. It was and I can understand where there's confusion. So I apologize for not telling the full story, but I did kind of mentally block that out. Is because that was one of like the worst nights. I was like, fuck, I had to, I had to deal with so many things. So I can understand the confusion. I apologize for that. But like, yeah, it was just a quick flip of the switch. I was like, this is not what I want to look forward to.
Okay. I want to touch base a little bit about what you said earlier when you said you sacrifice a little bit of mental
Health.
Yeah.
health when you're in the arguments.
I guess
Okay, but you said something within those lines. Remember he said
Yeah.
something
Okay.
like that?
Yeah.
How do you guys agree with that or disagree?
I don't think he said that though.
I don't remember saying
I
that,
think
but
I think
But
he
you-
said for the sake of his mental health.
yeah.
No, but he did mention that when you do argue, there is a little piece of your mental state that you do have to sacrifice.
I honestly don't remember saying that.
Yeah.
I don't see a reason
Play
why I
back the
would
clip.
say that.
No,
but
but-
if I
yeah.
did,
No, I mean,
if
I think you said something like that. though.
I'll elaborate on that, but I'm gonna have a hard time doing
No,
it because I don't understand why I said that.
Okay, but let's just say that was said, like not saying you said it, but okay, just an open-ended question.
Yeah.
Do you agree or disagree with that?
Can you rephrase it so I can?
When you argue with your significant other, do you think a little piece of your mental health is affected or sacrificed?
Sacrifice,
no, because I think it's all gonna be based on how you guys communicate
Right.
in either the discussion or in the argument, right? But I think what happens is like when mental health generally it's for me during like what we discuss like an argument or a discussion, it can only get damaged.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Like I mean, if we look at the negative part of it, it only
Right.
gets damaged. So I think the only time you actually give up your mental health is just to bear the brunt of the argument
Yeah.
and make it seem as though it's it's like your fault and move on.
Right. Right.
As opposed to trying to get things fixed.
it.
You're just gonna eat it, say, yes, son, bow down, say, oh, okay, yeah, my fault, my bad, and move on.
I think, yeah, I agree with Rich. And to elaborate on that, I think my opinion is mental health is sacrificed when there's no resolution over a period of time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's always going to be disagreements, but that's the difference between healthy and non-healthy arguments, in my opinion, is that mental health is, once your mental health is starting to get affected and you are sacrificing it, that's when you start diving into the unhealthy side of arguing, in my opinion.
Right. That's when that's when you're basically just not listening. You're just so like over it.
I actually really don't like that. It's also taxing for me, like, because I've had even Ackreight's done that a couple of times, like when we were at our lowest, where he just like, okay, and he doesn't argue, and I'm like, but I know you're not okay, and I know that you're mad, like, say what you're unhappy about, and then it burdens me because I'm like, I know that there's something bothering him and I can't fix it if he doesn't communicate it,
Right.
So I think it goes both ways, in the whole, like, not like shoving it in, like, yes, it's worse for the person taking the brunt of it, but it also doesn't benefit either person at any point,
Right. You could also sacrifice part of your mental health by not saying anything. Like you're saying, like when Ackroyd's like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk. You just like basically harboring all of that.
Yeah, you're harboring your own stuff as well.
Yeah.
Right?
And it just I don't know if you guys have ever felt it. Like you get into an argument, like a pretty heated argument with your significant other, and in one way, shape, or form, it gets resolved. Like you actually literally feel the load lifted off your fucking body, and almost like the endorphins start rushing in.
Yes, agreed.
And that's when we want to have makeup sex.
Yes. Well, that's also why I feel like it's healthy, right? Because you have to like rebond and like repair, and you guys feel like what's the word, like triumph, like you've triumphed together over something hard.
Right, like
you
there's
know?
peace again.
Right, exactly.
But I think if you harbor that though, it just again, it's just that cloud, and it's like that dark cloud over you, and it's almost like, you know, like those commercials about depression.
Right.
Where the guy has the camera's always like just raining. on it.
Yeah.
It's just like that. I mean, that's
definitely
that's
what
what
it
you
feels like.
create for yourself.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I've heard some extremes, like where people to decompress or whether while they're arguing is that like they've like laid on the floor together.
Sounds so stupid.
I know.
Wow, nice.
I know, but like, so what they've done, so where they basically go to like a physical place or physical like state where they like you. It's hard to not argue because it's just like
a peaceful place or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I can't do that.
I can't do that. I cannot. Well, okay, here's my toxic trait. Besides ghosting people, is like when I see red, I see red. Like when I'm at that point and I'm fucking pissed and I'm mad, it takes so much to get me to that point. But once I'm there, I'm so fucking mean, right? Like I've told you guys that before, but like I don't know how to stop that, and that's what's like the unhealthy part, right? Like. But I would hate to have someone like Vince that wasn't like down to forgive and repair together, because like Ackright's also gotten to the point where he's seen red. Like imagine if we didn't go like, or you and Jason have had like breakups, you know, and like I know that you guys have. I mean, you guys are not with any significant other now, but like, what if you didn't have that?
Yet.
Right, not yet. That opportunity. He still believes in love. This one's like.
But you know what? When you said that, I found peace in that.
Yeah.
In laying down.
Right.
Because you know what? You can't see red when you can't see each other.
That's true. When you take a step away from that, like right here.
Yeah. And then you just lay down and all you hear is each other's voices. You've literally put blinders on and all you see is the ceiling. You're not concentrated on winning anymore. You're almost like it's
like a reset button almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like you know what I was picturing? Because I was like the cinematography part. It's like me and somebody arguing, and then we lay down, and I just see like the camera just pans
out,
and it's then the room slowly turns into like Joshua Tree, like all the stars.
I totally see that too.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
But see how peaceful that becomes.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
So when you said you couldn't picture it, I was like in my head, I was like.
I can definitely picture it.
No,
I just don't know if I could get there.
Yeah. When I said like, I could definitely picture it.
I would love to get to that point.
I wish I
Just
could
try
do
it
it.
though.
Yeah.
I mean, I would just try it. Like, hey, look, listen.
You're a bitch. Okay, let's lay down.
let's lay the fuck down.
I think like also getting to a healthier part of arguing is recognizing when your significant other is getting elevated and being able to calm them beforehand, because that's definitely something that I've noticed works, right? Like he's high strung, and I'm just like, there are times where I snap back, right? I'm like, just shut the fuck out, dude. Like what? And then we fight, right? But lately I've been like, or not just lately, like when we fight in healthier moments, I'm like, hey, listen, it's okay. Like, let's talk about this, you know? And I'm like, I see you getting elevated, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, you know what? Thank you. Thank you for not fucking being a bitch right now, you know, and like not snapping at me, and vice versa, because there's times where I'm fucking like, you know, whatever. And he's just like, hey,
Yeah.
it's going to be fine. Like, and I'm like, okay, your calming voice is calming me. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what that reminds me of. Just like, be calm. Like,
And
it's
also
okay.
in that same instance, you do also feel the weight lifted.
Yeah.
And then the conversation starts becoming more proactive and productive.
Yes.
As opposed to like just basically just like bashing up against each other.
Yes, exactly.
Do you guys believe in excuse me, do you guys believe in like when they say, oh, don't let the argument go to the next day?
So
Yeah.
don't sleep mad at your
Yeah.
significant other.
Yes.
Yes.
Because what I've come to find, and I don't know, this is just me speaking from my own experience and my own, whatever, but I feel like when you do sleep on it, you tend to wake up the next day and try to pretend like it didn't happen,
And it festers.
Yeah, and it festers, and then you sweep it under the rug, and then it comes back 10 times harder later because you didn't talk about it already. You know what I mean? You're just throwing it in each other's face. So I'm not saying that I'm always perfect and I don't sleep mad, but it's definitely happened. But I definitely agree that it's not healthy to go to bed mad for sure.
And then the conversation's always like, we fucking fought about this before.
Yeah, exactly.
Over and over because
Right.
you guys slept on it.
Exactly.
I mean, me personally, my opinion, I've done both, right? Like I've gone to sleep angry and it's carried on.
Right.
But then I've also had those times where, yeah, of course, like we went to bed angry, and the next day, like, of course, to me, when I argue, specifically with Jason, it kills me. Like it hurts me to the core, and then it obviously would like fuck me up until we talk about it again. But at that point, like him and I are both
You're flooded.
we're both like at a level where we're okay to actually just talk and not argue or point fingers or
Not
whatever.
flooded.
So it's just we're more level-headed, and then you're like, okay, well, I did think about the points that you said, and you were valid during this times, or oh, I kind of disagreed on this, but it's because of this, or like I don't know. I feel like it just depends on your relationship and how much
Right.
you guys are vested, and also your communication level. That's where I say, like, sometimes you do need a break.
No, sleeping on it is good if that is what's communicated.
I
You know,
prefer it.
Like you know what? We're fucking mad right now. I don't want to talk to you. Let's sleep on it, and you guys actually follow through on talking about it.
Right.
I definitely think that's
So
healthy.
there's a good way
Yeah.
to do that. Like, so there's been a time where I went to bed and I was upset with my significant other, and we were both upset, and it was to the point where she started arguing where she didn't wait, or she wasn't listening to me. She was just waiting for her turn to talk. I was just like, okay, you know what? We need to take a break from this. We need to sleep on it. And she's like, no, I don't want to go to bed with, like, I was like, well, we're not getting any progress, so I'll sleep on the couch. And then the next day, what I did was I wrote a letter to her, and I said, I understand where you're coming from. So that way, by writing the letter, there's no way for her to interrupt me. She still has to finish what I'm saying or what I was trying to say. And then that gave her a little bit more clarity on my view. Now, I'm not admitting that I was wrong or that or blaming her for being wrong, but I just wanted her to understand my point
Your
of view.
point of view.
So when she woke up and she had that letter, she was able to, like, well, first it was kind of stupid because she read it, she understood my point of view, but what she got from it was like, oh, it was so sweet for you to do. I was like, did you even read? Oh, whatever. We're through the argument, whatever. So that worked. Or this is the
I'm waiting for it now.
this is the smarter one. If you do go to bed and you're upset with each other, and she's being unreasonable, jack off.
There it is.
On the bed.
Right next to her.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I have like
Lights on.
I have like two rules. Like if we're gonna go to sleep angry with each other or whatever. If we're in the heated argument, I understand if you need to like step out for a little bit, but I don't want you to leave. Like, cause for me, when you leaving, that makes me feel like I take that as like you gave up.
Okay.
That's me personally.
Yeah.
Like I can understand if we're in the room and then you just go in the living room real quick and like take a quick breather, or you like smoke or vape or whatever the fuck it is, you know what I mean? Like that is one of my rules. And then if you sleep somewhere else, to be honest, that makes me pissed off.
I think sleeping somewhere else is kind of weird, but like if we were arguing and I left and then like I just wanted to like take a walk.
Do you
And
mean like
come
sleeping
back.
somewhere else, like on the couch?
Yeah. I can't do that. Like I to me that makes me upset because I don't know. It just in my head I start thinking in my head and then I start thinking like, oh, is he safe? Blah 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 blah. But if you let me know like, hey, I'm gonna go take a walk real quick, you communicate it with me. That's fine. But like to
Just walk out.
then that will piss me off even more.
I don't know.
Oh my god, I feel like I can just.
You don't want to read that. So, I actually know a lot of people that would agree with you. I would probably agree with you too for the most part on the leaving thing, because the way that Dave explained it is like, if you just dip out when there's an argument, then you're basically saying that you're just going to keep dipping out on the relationship when it gets tough and
Well,
you're not willing.
it makes it easy to dip out.
Right, exactly. But I disagree. I can't sleep with someone when I'm angry with them. Like me and Akra, I'll even sleep on the couch. I don't give a fuck if I have to sleep on the couch. Like that's not. It's not a like I'm taking the bed and you get the couch. It's not like that for me. For me personally, it's like I just don't want to like have the temptation to start this argument again by having you in the same room with me or vice versa, or I really can't stand you fucking sleeping like beauty sleeping while I'm fucking over here can't sleep and I'm angry. Like I can't look at your face just peacefully sleeping because it's selfish. I get that. But I'm just kind of like, I know I'm angry and being petty and being immature. And I personally already have insomnia. And now I can't sleep even more because I'm mad at you. And you're just over here like.
I'm unplugging my CPAP and I'm just looking at her directly and just.
Yeah, I can't do that. So I'm just like, ugh, get out of my face. Why are you so fucking happy and sleepy while I'm over here crying? You know,
I guess there's like a level.
Yeah.
There's I can kind of I take back and I agree with you,
Yeah.
but there's like a level of.
Yeah, for the
Where
most
the
part, I'm the same. I'm like, no, we don't need to sleep in separate spots because that's like when the first breakdown starts to happen in the relationship. Yeah, I get that. I definitely agree with you on that. So yeah.
I'm gonna sleep at my mom's house.
Yeah, like that shit. Like,
Yeah.
no, don't be a bitch. You're married to me. Stay the fuck here and let's work it out.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's why they say that like arguing is healthy, right? I think where that comes from, in my opinion, is the fact that a lot of couples do that, where they pretend like there's no problems and they just kind of keep sweeping it under the rug.
Oh, okay. I get.
Yeah, that's
No, because like when you first started that, I was like, wait, arguing's healthy? That's the conclusion we came to. But no, when I listened.
when it's done
so, yeah, okay.
healthily, then it is good for
I
you.
listened.
Because, like I said, I know a lot of couples where they've literally just given up and they're just together. Not a lot. I'm saying like a lot of couples in my life.
Every
they
single
suck.
one of y'all.
All my friends are gonna be like, "What the fuck are you talking?
Which one are you talking
I know.
about?
No, so I know people in my life where that is the thing. Like the love is lost, right? And they're literally just together because they've been together for so long. They don't even fight about shit anymore. They're kind of just in separate parts of the room on their phones, you know, like doing their thing. Like to me, that's such an unhealthy relationship where there's not even any passion to fight for it, you know?
I have so many questions.
Like what?
Like how do you determine whether the argument is worth fighting about?
Probably if it's like a sticking point in like how it makes you feel, like and like for example, like I really don't like it when you, and then if it's something that like genuinely hurts your feelings, I think that that's worth it because you don't want that to keep coming up, you know?
Yeah, but I would say about not good 90% of arguments don't necessarily need to happen.
Yeah, no, I agree because we're so emotionally driven as women. Like it's half the shit we say,
Clip
is,
that.
you know, and then men are very robotic. So
Clip that.
they don't
That's
even
3 points because we were right. So just give us that.
exactly.
No,
No.
it was admitting fault. So
No,
that you break even.
We were
We're
right. Right. Okay.
I'm gaslighting you.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Exactly. I'm glad that's how you feel.
I know, right?
So Vince, you're just gonna argue with people no matter what. Or
No,
drop
I'm
them
gonna
off.
choose. Like it's.
He's like, I'm gonna choose what's right, and I'm right.
There's a book.
Gaslighting.
There's a book called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And if you know,
I've seen
spoiler alert, if you haven't read it before, the premise isn't not giving a fuck about things, it's knowing what things to give a fuck about. So if I find out that some girl, like now I realize that the girl that I date, I don't want to date her unless I want another small version of her. So if I don't want my daughter to end up like her, then I won't date her. You know what I'm saying? So she has to be smart, or you know, like the qualities that I look for, and we could talk about that on a different one.
Mm-hmm.
But if she doesn't live up to that, there's no point in me fighting for somebody that I really don't care about.
How, oh, God, I have so many questions now.
Okay, you too. Go.
No, I was gonna say like, how do you
I'm
know
lost.
when to fight and when not to fight?
If she's worth it, I will see if we can find a compromise. Because I'll admit there are times that I'm going to be wrong, and I might be seeing things from my perspective which may not be correct.
Yeah. No, you're so no. My question is like how does because you said every woman is replaceable,
Right.
Yeah.
but
You
when
did
you
say that.
when you find that one person and you're willing to work it out, she's no longer replaceable.
Yes, she is.
No, because you're working.
There's
to
not
keep her.
only one. There's not only one person for everybody. You might think that way just because you're married and shit like that and you stopped looking, but you found one. You haven't found the one because there's not the one.
Okay, so I have a fun question. This is not really about arguing, but like speaking of the one, this was asked, and it's like there was this discussion, and it was interesting to hear both hypotheticals. And I almost already know what you guys are gonna say, and it's like, no, just answer the question, okay? Like,
Okay.
so, say you're with someone, right, and you have a perfect relationship, right? Not perfect. There's no such, but as close as you can get, right? And someone tells you, like, okay, this guy that you're with, this girl that you're with is a really great person. You guys have a 97%. This actually happened to someone I know. That's why I want to know what you guys would do. 97% success rate in your relationship. So that's a big number, right? But then they told you.
Considering that I'm 0 right now.
Yeah, and but they told you that like your soulmate you're gonna meet on this date, this time,
Oh, you've asked.
blah blah blah. Like, which one would you choose? Because supposedly the soulmate is the person that was meant for you, so your personalities will click, the way you guys talk, your, like the way you guys joke is the same, but you don't know this person or the person that you've already experienced and you're having a successful relationship with. Would
I'm
you be
staying
willing
with the
to risk that?
97.
I'm staying with the 97.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sticking with it.
How do
Yeah.
I know that my soulmate
But you
doesn't have
don't.
somebody else?
No, that's the thing.
See?
It's like literally
That's
that's why it's
already-
a make believe. I
Yeah.
see. That's why I knew this was
But-
gonna happen.
So it's 50-50 already because I don't know
Yeah.
if they're gonna be,
no,
and then
it's literally like that's why I'm saying it's a make believe question. That's why I was like, I know what they're gonna say. They're gonna be like, oh, what about this? What about this? No, that's it. Like this person is actually meant for you, but you also are with a really good person.
No, I'd stick with the 97%.
yeah, I'll stick with a 97.
Depends on how long I've invested in that.
What if it was not long?
What is not long?
2 years.
6 months.
Oh, 6 months long enough for me to stick with the 97%.
If it was that day that I'm 97% compatible with this one person, and then at like 3:00 later that day, I meet my soulmate,
Yeah.
then I'd probably take my soulmate.
What about you, Lonnie? What if it was like a month in, and you were really good with this person, but it was only a month?
No, I think I'll still stay with my 97.
Wow. This is some like fucking drama like you see
I
like in the
know.
movies.
That's why I was
right?
asking.
Like the
Because it's
Notebook.
interesting to hear people's answers.
A month in, 97%, but the other one's 100, basically.
Basically. And this is like in this perfect world, this is a trusted source.
You know what? I might change my answer.
I'd keep her even if she was 80%.
Look, it might be if I don't know. You ready to answer?
I'm thinking.
Okay, because let's say I'm with somebody 97%, and we're 6 months in,
Yeah.
and I meet my soulmate,
Right.
and she's always around, and she's within the circle of friends.
Right.
Because you guys are soulmates, that attraction would be too hard to actually stop.
Yeah. Right.
So technically,
You're gonna choose them anyway.
you're gonna end up choosing them.
Yeah.
They're you,
Oh, because they have
gu-
all the qualities. And
if
Yeah.
you
I
guys
get what you're saying.
you guys will have so great chemistry.
Well, that's the
that
point, right?
You're like deep down inside, I would love to stay with you, but there's something here.
Right.
There's something here that's being offered that you can't.
Yeah.
I mean, but you're
Right.
looking at it like there's two girls, and you're gonna tell me that you're happy with this 6-month relationship, and then somebody comes along that's 3% better, and you're gonna
Well,
change.
you don't know what how important that 3% is to me.
Right.
I mean, it's still like in the grand scheme of things. If it's only 3%, that's like, oh, she has better penmanship.
So I'm like where you're at right now. That's where I was. Because I was like going back and forth, and then I did the same thing you. I was like, well, like, what if that 3% is what makes it just perfect, or
Yeah.
whatever the fuck, you know? Like,
But the thing is, like, like Vince says, when in the grand scheme of things, when you look at it, it's only 3%.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's only 3%. But when it comes to human beings,
Right.
and the way we get attracted and we latch on to each other, just that 1% is enough.
Kind of. That's the.
Because that
See,
1% could be like, for instance, like let's say I met a girl and we're
Yeah.
like we're at 97%, right? But that 1% might not be her adventurous side. Then I get that one, which gives me everything she has but the adventurous side, and the daredevil side. That might be the one that gets me over there.
right, the deal breaker.
I mean, to me, and Lonnie, you'll understand this. 97% to me would be like Krissa. If I'm with Krissa, I'm not looking at anybody else.
Yeah.
I don't care if.
But you just said everybody was replaceable. She's replaceable if you find
she
somebody
is.
at 100%.
She is replaceable if she pisses me off. But if I'm in a committed relationship, I'm not looking anywhere else.
I don't know, man. I just say
I-
sometimes you're not looking. Sometimes you're not looking.
No,
you
right,
just know
right.
the person personally.
So when I say that this happened
No,
to my
that's-
friend, right? Like, okay, obviously lots of people don't believe in like manguhula, right? Or like,
Right.
that means like psychic or some sort, right? And she's not one to either, but of course it's in the back of her head now, right? Like this person told her like, this is your person, and everything was right. Even like the dad's sickness was right. Like she got everything, the nail on the head. And they told her that. They're like, you're gonna know, because as soon as you cross paths with this person, you're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel this weird connection that's different from anything you've ever felt before. But it's up to you. Like you have free will. It's your choice if you're gonna pursue it or stay with the person. And I'm like, damn, I don't know what I would do if I felt some type of way.
Is this your friend?
My friend.
Have
yeah.
I met her yet?
No.
Oh, well, that's probably we should never meet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Has she met Vince yet? He could be Vince.
Maybe. You never know.
No, but see, also talking to your point where you said that I admit I said this. Everybody's replaceable.
Yes.
You know, when it comes to like relationships, nobody can replace my daughter. But but when it comes to relationships, do you got a poo?
What do you mean?
You need help pooing?
But I'm in the middle of a. Okay. Sorry.
We got the Brady Bunch here.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
No, okay. So with that mentality, if I'm already in a committed relationship that I already see somebody that's above 90%, above 80%, I'm not going to have that wandering eye. Like I'll appreciate another person. You know what I'm saying? But by me looking at that other person, and even if I think, oh, she would be better, it's like, nah, I'm good where I'm at. Because
But like he
that
said, you
person
can't control that. If you feel something, you feel something.
It might
Yes,
not
you
be. It
can.
might not
You
be.
might not even be looking.
It might not be instant. But
Mm-hmm.
but shit starts to fade here because you're not, and then
Yeah.
I know you wouldn't. I guess you're a much better man than I am, because if I'm at somebody at 97% and I meet my soulmate, I don't know.
Okay, you're gonna want to clip this. I actually agree with Vince. I'm only saying though because, like, where I'm at right now in my relationship with Jason, I'm only using him as an example because this is how I feel, right? Yes, there's 97% that I was like super compatible, and there's that 3% where I'm like, fuck, like I wish this, and this, right? I've communicated that though, and those things that I would prefer or whatever, he's made those changes.
Well, look at
But what
this
if no
too.
kids were involved?
Here,
No,
let's,
not even kids involved.
Let's-
He may have taken a long time to get to that point, but he got to that point, and I don't see anybody else.
Let me use you in this example. So okay, you have Jason, right? He's fit. He does his thing and stuff.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Hypothetically, I also work out. I also own a business. I also do photography and I DJ, so we have a lot to get along with, right? And I'm willing to put a ring on your finger. Are you gonna leave Jason?
No.
Exactly. What if
but you're not her soulmate.
Let's just say that everything that you want, I would be your soulmate. You know, like if I were to hit the nail on the head with everything, you know what I mean? But you love Jason. Why?
Yeah.
You're just gonna give away that love?
Okay. Let me explain myself. Like, I wouldn't dump the person like right off the bat.
That's why I think they're
Yeah.
having like they're thinking like you're just gonna be like,
No.
bye.
So cheat
No.
on the person that you love
No.
because if you feel
Okay,
bad,
I want to
Wait,
hear.
wait,
I want
then
to hear
you
Kuya's
won't.
point. Though. I want to hear Kuya's
It's
point.
not that. I think in a fantasy world where you know it,
Right.
you couldn't control it. Like I'm looking at it from like a movie perspective.
Right. That's
right?
exactly what it is.
Like,
It's like a movie perspective.
It's almost like like a love story. Like I'm with somebody, and what's the?
It's like Usher,
here's the
you
top-
make me want to leave the one I'm with.
Yeah.
It's
So
like
so
one of
here's
those.
here's the topic. I'm with somebody. Conflict. I met the girl. I met the one.
Mm-hmm.
What is the resolution?
Right.
I think
I changed my answer. I agree with Rich. I would leave for my soulmate because she'd probably be bisexual, and then I can hook up with the 97 also. Boom! Clip that.
I just think that some like I mean a 97%. Yeah, I mean 97% is high. Like you're practically like Vince is right. You're probably not gonna be looking
Right.
But if you look at it from a
Movie.
from
type-
a movie
yeah.
point of view, that's what I'm saying. Like
If that draws you, it draws you.
it's
yeah.
it's gonna draw you. Like everything you ask for is in this person. Now I'm not the one to cheat,
Right.
but that there will be that attraction. There will be like that.
That will
Fuck,
make you think about
she
leaving.
is fucking perfect. If there was anybody else in this world, it'd be her. And then if my significant other asks, I mean, I'd probably lie.
Yeah.
But deep down inside, you know that there's just that one quality that 1 or 2 or whatever, that 3% that she's offering, that would just
Make
complete
the
everything.
difference. Yeah.
The only way that I would even notice is if like they were way fucking hot. But other than that, like I wouldn't be able to tell because I mean I get it from your point of view because of the whole movie thing and like that whole scene. But I don't
Like if you had
I
a meter, that's
can't.
what she's saying though. Like if
Yeah.
you knew,
Right. If you knew without a shadow of a doubt that this was going to be better.
100% soulmate. And this is like a 97%. Of
Right.
course, we don't walk around with it.
Right.
With-
Exactly.
With meters, right? With
It's like a without
signals.
a shadow of a doubt. There's no doubt. Like it is guaranteed that if you go to this person, it will be better than the person you're with.
Yeah.
And it goes back to sake of the argument of like what would be how would you level up from that then?
No, my new answer is the best. The 3% to you guys, 3 sum for me. You know what I'm saying?
I was so mind fucked when you said that.
Like when you meet that person, it goes back down and then it like time travels through like your meetings. Like
Yeah,
you guys were like
exactly.
in the Roman
Rich, you
era,
feel me,
in
Rich,
like the
on the
Victorian
question.
era.
Yeah.
You guys were like princess, whatever, kings in fucking Egypt.
Yeah.
Yeah. you
No,
know.
you know what? I do honestly stick by the original answer that I have. I would stick
same.
with the 97 just because like I've been in like
I feel like that's so hard
So-
for to say. Like you don't know
no,
that.
No. I think
No.
Vince is saying from in a reality point of view because you
Yeah.
never know, right? So
Right.
you'd stick with the 97.
Of course, yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you had a meter, you'd be fucking. You'd be like,
That's what I'm saying. Like, obviously, you guys are looking at it from like what you guys are gonna be like. Well, this is reality. I get that, you know. But like, if there was actual a meter where someone was able to show you that, you'd really just give up on the one that I wouldn't. That's just me. If it was like the movie scene, you know, like I would be like, okay, this is a guarantee, and we don't have kids, and nothing is holding me on to this person.
right?
Then yeah.
hey, 97% is good enough for me. 80% is good enough for me.
No, I'm just saying if there's like if I met my soulmate, she's my soulmate. And-
You just want me to say your answer.
no, I'm just saying. No, I'm saying from a movie perspective.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
I
no,
knew,
I
I
get
knew.
In reality, I'm with you too. Yeah, of course you're
Yeah,
going to be
yeah.
97% because there's no guarantees, right, with
Right.
this new person. But if there was a guarantee, I would go for my
Yeah, but
soulmate.
love stories are just horror films that haven't been finished.
I get what you're saying, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
like
would still
Gremlins?
stick with my answer.
No. Yeah.
Did
No,
you say
I.
your grandma.
No, like
Gremlins.
Gremlins.
Oh,
So, you
No.
don't remember Little Mogwai?
yeah.
All right, guys.
No, but I like.
So argue healthily, okay?
It's
Yes.
just fucking argue like we
this.
argue here.
Yeah,
Like
exactly,
this.
like this.
Kick bitches out cars. Not just downstairs.
Out of the cars
Yep.
too. Damn, he upgraded from stairs to car.
Make
Was
sure
it
it's
moving?
in a populated area.
Was it a moving vehicle?
Well, it was.
It was as soon as she got out.
Lonnie's like, I am too tired for you, motherfucker.
I don't know. For some reason, I'm reinvigorated. We should do another one.
I'm out.
No, I got new notes to self. Leaving during an argument is a new thing I want to try.
That's his note that
Thanks,
he took.
Lonnie.
yeah.
Appreciate that.
Wait, what did I say?
Sleeping
You know
at
how
your
you said
mom's
you
house?
shouldn't leave during an argument? So his note to himself was, leaving in an argument is something I want to try.
Oh my god, I'm gonna go to like the dopest hotel and post it.
Vince is like, I'm gonna sleep at my mom's house. Just walks out the door and goes into the room.
Yep.
Okay, that's it. We're done. Anything else to say about arguing, guys?
Do it.
Just
Do it healthily.
do it healthily. Don't never disrespect each other. I mean, the minute you start disrespecting each other, it's there's-
Downhill from there, for
There's
sure.
walls built, and no one wins.
But here, first
I win.
empathize. No, seriously. Like, first empathize and then try to solve logically.
Okay, I can agree with that.
What they all said.
Yep. She loves Jason. That's it. That's all it
Yep.
came to.
Yeah, she found a way to tell us that
Look at she said.
Yep.
her
No, I
nine.
was just kidding.
He's like 98%. Give me the 2%.
97%.
2%. Jason,
2
2%.
carat. 2 carat. 3 carat.
Okay, guys, I could do another episode.
I
No,
know,
I'm just
right?
kidding. All right. Thanks, guys, for tuning in.
Our sponsors, we need to mention them, please.
Oh shit! Yes.
I almost said bye.
If you're in the San Diego area and you're looking for premium meal preps ready at your door on a Sunday afternoon, healthy, compact, ready to eat, 2 minutes in the microwave, use our code TheBabes10 at Mikey's Meals to save yourself 10% off your very next order at www.mikeysmeals, and that's meals with a Z.com. And also, thank you to the Pixel Lounge SD.
Yes.
For
If you want to come here and argue with me or have an argument of your own, book the
Hit us
studio.
up.
yes,
Yep.
Yeah.
yes. If you want to,
Content creation, whatever's, yeah. Just come by. We can even talk.
well,
shit to each
contact
other.
Vince first. Just don't come by.
I know, don't just start.
Right?
They walk through the door. All right, I'm ready, motherfucker.
Like we dox each
Yeah,
other
let's
here.
do it.
Like you know most podcasts are really secretive about where the fuck they are.
Yeah.
We're like, come to the Pixel Lounge SD.
I know, right?
Find the address. We're here.
All
Don't
right.
do that.
Yeah, but yeah, don't just fucking show up
Yep.
because Vince will use his
Schedule it.
fucking karate.
Schedule your argument today.
I'll open hand slap you.
All right, you guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we will see you guys on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.